with Christmas just around the corner, it only makes sense to go over some Christmas perfumes or perfumes that are Christmas inspired. So when I think of perfumes for kind of the holiday season, I usually think of, kind of warm, spicy perfumes, maybe some notes of clove and nutmeg and, stuff like that. Something reminds you of gingerbread or crackling fire, that sort of thing. So there are a few perfumes that I have on hand that I quite like for not only for Christmas, but also just for throughout the year. And one of them, which I recently got, this nice bottle here, is called Youth Dew by Estee Lauder. And I would argue that this is one of the most Christmassy perfumes out there. And it has been for a long time, since 1953 when it came out. It's by Estee Lauder, by the way. And I mean, even really the color is a nice, warm, it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it does have a bright kind of bronze color to it. And this perfume in particular is very, very spicy. It has notes of dried citrus, you can kind of imagine some slices of orange and lemon that have been baked and dried and let out to hang in your house. And there's also like some cloves, some nutmegs, a bit of cinnamon, and almost a little bit of a liquor kind of scent, like a fine aged whiskey sort of thing. It's a bit strong. Not everyone might like this, this sort of scent. It's more of it can also be an acquired scent, but overall it does have those Christmassy notes that you would expect. It's overall a very, very warm fragrance, a little bit sharp in the beginning, but as it dries down, it really becomes more, really reminds you of like a crackling fireplace sort of thing. So that's one of my favorites for Christmas for that reason. And in a similar vein is Shalimar, which is also one of my favorites. And it even has, the actual liquid has a similar color to Youth Dew, actually. And Shalimar, especially the Eau de Parfum, I would say is very similar to Youth Dew in the fact that it does have those spice notes, and it is a very, very warm, kind of deep and a little bit heavy perfume. And again, that sort of perfume isn't really for everyone, but if you really want something cozy, warm, maybe a bit sultry, Shalimar is a really good option. But besides that, the main difference that Shalimar has is its smokiness. It is really reminiscent of striking a match on a matchbox and then blowing it out, and then that very fragrant, fresh smoke is, there in the air. And Shalimar really captures that, and it really does give the impression that you're sitting next to a fireplace or, that sort of thing. I would say that Shalimar is not as spicy as Youth Dew. Youth Dew has more of those fragrant, freshly ground spices, while Shalimar is more about the smoke. So, you kind of have best of both worlds for those two, depending on what you're looking for, the spice or the smoke, that sort of thing. The third option that I have on my list is more of a modern fragrance. It's very small. Let's see. Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And this is a very expensive fragrance. Not everyone can get this. It's like $400, quite a lot. This sample was, nice, but the thing about this particular perfume is it's sweet and spicy at the same time. And I usually am not a big fan of sweet perfumes because I think they're a bit too cloying, a bit too much. But this perfume has a really nice balance of these almost fruity notes, and it blends it with these more kind of burnt spices. So this perfume is kind of picky for some people because some people have a hard time smelling it because it's a very, very strong and potent perfume. And while it may sound counterintuitive that some people can't smell a strong perfume, it's even me, I can sometimes have a hard time smelling it because of those just large, heavy molecules. But what I do smell, it's definitely very pleasant. It kind of reminds me of burnt candy, like burnt cotton candy. And while it is sweet, it isn't too sweet. You know, it's a very finely crafted perfume. It has some notes of saffron, which adds some additional warmth to the overall perfume. And really, it's just a really nice. It's a nice Christmas perfume if you prefer to stay away from, you know, Shalimar, which is really smoky, or Youth Dew, which is a bit too spicy for some people. So Baccarat Rouge 540 is more of a nice balance for most people. I think most people generally like this perfume because it's more modern, it's a bit lighter than the previous two, and it does have that sweetness to kind of lighten up its spicy notes. So, and the saffron edition gives it a nice little kick. So the next one here is not well known. It's a very small bottle of Spark by Liz Claiborne. The thing about this perfume, I would say it's kind of an interesting mix between Baccarat Rouge 540 and Youth Dew. So the thing about this is that it has very prominent sweet notes, most particularly caramel. Lots of caramel notes when you first put it on, but they become richer as the perfume dries into your skin. And at the same time, these caramel notes don't, you know, they're not oozing, they're not just disgustingly sweet, you know. It's more, I would say it is sweeter than Baccarat Rouge, but that sweetness is counteracted by wood notes in the base notes, you know, oak, that sort of stuff. And it's not really spicy, it's really just a blend of woody and sweet. A little bit of vanilla thrown in there. But the cool thing about this is that it has the strength of Youth Dew, so you don't need to put a lot on, you just kind of dab it on yourself, and it should last you, you know, most of the day, throughout the evening, and you usually won't need to reapply it, you know, it's a pretty potent perfume. So that's a really good another option if, you know, you prefer a sweeter perfume for the holidays rather than, you know, something that's a bit too dry or too spicy. So mainly caramel notes is what makes it sweet, but besides that, overall, I really, you know, you could definitely tell that it's really kind of meant for the holidays. And the last one on my list here is another small sample of Coco by Chanel, which is, I would say, primarily a spicy perfume. And I really like Coco. It is, I wouldn't say it's the same sort of spiciness that Youth Dew has. Youth Dew has kind of a sharpness, while Coco is more of a, you know, as if the spices have been baked or, you know, sauteed in a pan, so they're more mellow, but they're still prominent. The perfume is still relatively strong. And the similarity is that it does have some dried citrus notes in the beginning, but they're pretty mild. Mainly, it's like some notes of nutmeg, allspice, and then some wood notes and some musk. So Coco is more of a heavier perfume and a rich kind of luxurious, heavy sort of perfume. So not really best for those who don't care for musky perfumes, because that's definitely a musky perfume. And it doesn't have really any sweet notes. It's not really a sweet perfume. Generally just a warm, spicy kind of thing. So that's that's the top 5 Christmas perfumes that I think would be really good choices for the holidays. You know, they're all kind of cozy, warm, a little bit spicy, maybe sweet fragrances. So if you have any other recommendations for Christmas perfumes, you can leave those down in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.